Morning guys, Scott with the Hydroponic Gardener here. In this episode I was going to touch bases on my Dutch bucket system. This has a couple other systems hooked up to it as well, but I wanted to explain to you what this will do. These are 4-gallon buckets, I believe, and I've seen different variations of Dutch buckets as far as people using perlite and filling the whole bucket up. I use these 5-gallon net cups. 5-gallon bucket net cups, they're very convenient. And they're about 6 inches, the opening on them. I just put hydrogen in them, and then it's got a big open air base underneath that, and the water sits down below about 3 or 4 inches deep before it drains out of the return, which I'll show you in a second. But as far as a Dutch bucket system goes, you've got a feed line like this one here that pumps the water up and then runs it out to these. Each individual bucket has its own water distribution going to it. You can see there's always put 2 holes in each line just in case one gets clogged. They're still getting fed by the secondary line. So that's the front end of it. I have put this in a little bit of a garden box just to make it look nicer, so it's not a bunch of random buckets laying everywhere. And this is the main reservoir that the water gets fed from. Like I said, I've got a couple other return lines from other systems in it, but this main line here is the distribution line that pumps the water up through each one of them. And then on the back of the buckets, you'll see how this works. There's a return line right there. Like I say, I keep it 3 or 4 inches above the bottom. It's just convenient because then it has a little layer of water at the bottom. So when your roots do get established, they're laying in that water. There's not going to be any concerns if there's a power outage that the roots will dry out. When it drains out here, it just runs to the center where there's a T connector and then flows back into the reservoir. So that makes it convenient. This black lining I have here is just trash bags, but I've stapled those on just to help with light issues so that there's not any light that gets in there creating any algae problems. But other than that, that's it. It's pretty basic. Like I say, I've seen guys fill these up with perlite, and it just seems like it's a lot of media to use for the plant to be in when these would do the job, and it doesn't take as much. Plus you can reuse this stuff a lot easier, I think. But then it circulates again into this. And then the same thing with this. If you ever use these kind of totes, the yellow isn't light proof. So I've bought some insulation from Home Depot, and this just sits right on here like that, kind of as a light blocker. It also helps when my sprinklers come on. It doesn't collect a whole lot of sprinkler water in the reservoir throwing the pH off or anything like that. But other than that, that's the Dutch bucket system in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And in our next episode, I'll be talking about these DFT systems I've got attached to the sides with these other plants in them. So thanks and have a great day. Bye.